Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I am currently driving in the rain. It's sprinkling, but it's getting worse. So I'm really nervous. I hope the rain isn't too loud on the video. I'll try to edit it as best as I can, but it's getting a little bit worse. So we'll just go with it, and hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, so you see the title of the video. So today I want to talk about Neuralink, right? And Elon Musk. A little bit of both. Now, some of you are probably familiar with this, Neuralink. What this is, to give you kind of a quick breakdown, because it's actually very, very complicated. Elon Musk has a company that he's created called Neuralink, and they are building what is basically a computer that goes into your brain, right? And it allows your brain to communicate with technology, right? So this is like some really super sci-fi, futuristic type of stuff, right? I mean, this is really stuff in movies. And it's crazy that they're able to actually build this technology now, which just doesn't even seem like it's something that's possible. Like I said, it just seems like it's something that's out of movies. So they're building this chip. Basically what it does is it interfaces with your brain, right? So there's this little device that goes behind your ear. It kind of reminds me of like a hearing aid, right? So this little device goes behind your ear. It's kind of like a hearing aid. It looks like a hearing aid. And it communicates wirelessly. Where are we going? What is this? Cops pulled over on the side of the road with their lights on. Nobody pulled over. What's the point of this? Anyway, so it's like this hearing aid device. It communicates wirelessly with this chip that they literally put into your brain, right? And I'm not exaggerating. It literally goes into your brain. So Elon Musk, they had a like a conference, press conference, right? It was a presentation. It was like 2 hours where they basically demoed this product, gave everybody the details about it, what it does, how it works, all these different things, right? So it's pretty cool. You have that device, you have the chip that goes in your brain. On the chip that goes in your brain, there's these little strands, look like little bitty wires. They're about the same size as a piece of human hair, and they actually go directly into your brain tissue, right? And they can do like, I forget how many wires they said, like 100 or 1,000 or something wires that they can put into your brain, and that communicates with a little hearing aid device wirelessly. And it allows this thing to interpret signals that are in your brain, and it also allows it to send signals to your brain, right? So they talked about, you know, if someone, for example, was born with, you know, they couldn't speak, for example. Let's say somebody was born and they were mute. They had no way to speak. So they basically said this device could allow people to speak that can't speak. I'm not sure what else it can do. It might be able to help people see that are blind, speech issues, people that have issues moving certain parts of their body, so like motor skills, motor function. It might be able to help with that, all sorts of things, right? So this is really nuts that they're able to do this. I'm one of those people. I'm not too on board with someone sticking a computer in my brain. Kind of freaks me out. I've seen too many movies, just like I'm sure plenty of you have. So the idea of putting a computer in my brain, not sure how I feel about that. But I think the idea of being able to take a device like that and give someone the ability to speak who couldn't speak previously, I think that's really cool, and I think that could be very useful. Now, the other part of this that I want to talk about, and this may be something that some of you may or may not know. So if you're familiar with Joe Rogan's podcast, which is on YouTube, it's the most popular podcast in the world actually. It's very good. I recommend watching it. But if you watch Joe Rogan's podcast, you may have heard about Elon Musk's interview on that podcast. And it's a very, very, very good show. I would recommend watching it. Actually, I'll put a link for it in the description of this video. You should go watch the podcast. It's really, really interesting. But in the podcast, there's one point where Joe Rogan and Elon Musk have a conversation about AI, right? Artificial intelligence. And they're talking about, you know, this crazy conspiracy theory, whatever you want to call it, where basically humans create some sort of AI and it decides that, you know, we're like destroying the planet or whatever, you know, insert movie name. And we're destroying the planet and it decides we're bad for the earth and that it wants to get rid of us, right? So they're talking about this possible future if we created this AI that was unstoppable. And one of the things that Elon talked about was he believes that we will create an AI that is fully sentient, as they call it, so capable of its own thought and its own consciousness. He believes we will create that. He also believes that if we do create this, that humans need a better way of interacting with it, right? So he believes that our current method of interacting with the internet, which is basically just through like smartphones and computers, we're limited in our, what you would call input, the information we can provide to it, because everything we do is through keyboards and touchscreens, right? So you can only tap a screen so fast or type a sentence so fast, right? So our method of communicating with this technology is already limited. So he thinks that the key to this future, the key to humans surviving, is for us to have a better way to talk to the AI, to interface with the internet and technology, for us to become more in sync, more connected with it, right? And he basically said that to avoid this catastrophe level event of some AI taking over the world, this is the only way to do it. So while they do talk about using this technology to help people with disabilities and things like that, those of you that remember this podcast, or you know, have seen it, you'll remember him talking about that. I think this is also the other reason why Elon wants to build this, right? He thinks that this is the only way to save humanity, right? It's for him to build this interface. So when we do create this AI, when we do create this virtual life form, we'll be able to actually talk to it, interact with it, be able to have a conversation and have an understanding, and for us to be able to basically continue to live as humans alongside whatever this AI that we create is, right? So it's pretty wild. I'll put the link to the Joe Rogan podcast in this video. I'll also put a link to the Neuralink presentation, but I'm not going to put a link to the full one. Like I said, it was like 2 hours or something like that. But I think it was CNBC, one of those channels or stations. They basically created like a highlight reel where it just gives you like most of the main points, and it's only like 18 minutes long. So I'll put that video in the description of this. I'd recommend going and watching that. It gives you a good idea of what they're doing, how it works. The other part that's crazy about it is that they said that they were going to be able to start human testing hopefully at the end of next year. So for those of you that are listening and you're thinking, oh, okay, that's cool, but you know, we're years from being able to do anything like this, we're not. He also mentioned that in the interview. But yeah, they are trying to do testing at the end of 2020. So we're like a year away from them actually sticking this in someone's brain and seeing what they can actually do, what actually happens. So in the next 5 years, we could have implants, computer implants in our brains, and we could be interacting directly with you know, the internet, our phones, whatever. This Neuralink is also operated through an iPhone app. So, you know, all like the updates and everything can all be sent to your phone. So your phone is going to be connected to your brain, basically. So it's, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if I would get it. Let me know if you would do it. I know there's some people out there that think that just sounds awesome and they love to do it, to try it. I don't think I'm one of those people. Even if, you know, thousands of people had it and they proved it was safe and the risk was very low, I don't know. I just don't know if I could do it. The procedure itself seems like it's not too bad. Basically, they built a robot that does the surgery. So it inputs all the little strands that go in your brain. It does that. There's not a doctor or surgeon that completes the surgery. They said that the little strands that they put in your brain are just too small for someone, for a human to do it by hand. So they created a robot that does the surgery as well. And the surgery is supposed to be pretty non-invasive. So they said they basically make like a little small incision, cut a little hole into your skull, run the wires, and then they just seal everything back up. They said the recovery time will be like next to nothing. There won't be any scarring or nothing. So it's gonna be pretty painless. They said they'll even be able to do it probably without putting people under, just with some anesthesia. So yeah, I'm sure there's thousands of people out there that love to do this. I don't know if I'm one of them. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would be willing to let Elon Musk put a computer in your brain. So on that note, I'm almost to work. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. Thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate your support. And yeah, hope you have a good day. It's Monday, so hope you have a great week. And I'll be back with another video tomorrow. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.